everyone, it's Kim here with Creative Scrapbooker magazine, and I wanted to share one of my favorite products lately to pull out and use for embellishments, and they're products from Therm. And what we're going to do today, I've made this layout, which is really a simple layout, but I wanted to break it down into how I've done certain elements of this. On the back here, if you can get a better view of it, I love this paper. It's from Simple Stories So Happy Together. This is the paper that I've used as my background, and I've used this as one of the papers to mat my pictures with, and we'll go back and see that later. Other products I've used for this are Creative Memories Circle Punch. I love this system. It's sharp and precise and easy. Some of the Therm products we're going to be using today are the Foil Mates by Gina. We're going to use my very favorite product, the foam adhesive. We're going to use that a couple of times. We'll be using two of the Deco foil colors. One is a blue and the other is a silver, and we're going to use those as well. When we're using the Foil Mates, the packages come with multiple sheets of each design. The foil sheets are very thin, and you want to separate them because you might think you're using one, but in fact there's multiple sheets per tube. And look already, just under the camera, how lovely of a shimmer you get with this. If you're using the toner sheets, you need to have parchment paper to run through your toner. The parchment paper keeps everything together so it doesn't jam up in your laminator. One other tip I like to share is don't turn on your laminator and get started right away. I like to give my laminator at least 10 minutes to heat up so that it's nice and hot when we're doing the foiling. That will ensure that you get the best adhesion of toner to foil. So what I like to do is find a crease, put my toner in, my toner sheet on, layer it foil side up, and then you can lay it down like this. Because this is longer, you can see here it's longer, I like to ensure this doesn't get caught in my laminator. I have had that once and it was a sad day. I like to take a second parchment and follow along here because it makes sense. Put the bottom over top of the bottom of the first sheet and lay that down, and then at the crease, instead of having it at the top, bring your crease and put it under. That way you have one package here that can run through the laminator with no parts getting caught. Okay, now we're back from the laminator, and the laminator gives you a combination of pressure and heat with the foils. So now let's watch the magic. We're going to take this out of the parchment paper. Here is our reveal. So when you pull off the foil, with the heat of the laminator and the pressure, it stays to the toner of the Foil Mates, and hopefully you can get a view of that magical shine. And I love this pattern. I have also used, just as a side note here, look how beautiful this negative is. Use this on a card. I've used this with some adhesive on the background, and it is a gorgeous base all on its own for a card or another project. You can see on my layout, this is the same piece that I've used to mat my layout. One other thing with your foil mates, if you run it through a laminator that maybe wasn't hot enough, or you're not happy, you've got a few areas that didn't pick up the foil, run it through again. Just move your foil over in a different position or use a new sheet so that you're not putting the pattern in the exact same spot. Otherwise it's not going to release onto your toner sheet. Next, what we're going to look at is how I did this title. And again, I've got the foil used for my title, and just a little bit, I don't know if you can tell here, we've just got a little bit of dimension with that. Not so much that it takes over my layout, but enough that it comes off the page to create a second layer. So let's do that. Foam adhesive sheets from Therm. I love them. They have become my very favorite foam adhesive for one main reason. They're thin. So you would peel back all the way and then stick the foil down carefully on the whole foam adhesive sheet, or the size that you want to use. What I do with this, and you don't have to, I run it through the laminator, not for the heat, but for the pressure. You could also run this through a die cutting machine. This is what I came up with. When it's complete, I have this lovely piece of foam adhesive covered with my foil. It also gives a little bit of a texture in there from running it through, and I am all about that texture. For my letters, I use the Tim Holtz Wordplay alphabet. It is one of the larger dies, but the smaller dies also cut the foam adhesive. So the little thin dies, they will also work. I do it often. I just happen to like these letters. So I'll cut a few of them to show you how lovely it is. Note that when I ran this through my die cutting machine, I did have it foil side down, and that's so that when I turn them over to use the adhesive, they will be the right side. Look how beautifully these cut out. They are double-sided, so now you've created stickers. You can use them however you want on a layout. I'm going to take one of these little squares and cut it out, place it over top of the foam adhesive, and we're going to cut out a square of it. And now we have a foam embellishment, and we're going to take our punch we have created a lovely foam embellishment. Final thing that I did, and we'll just go use an edge of our alphabets. I took the sticker sheets and grab one that will fit. Here's one here. For this, I'm just sticking the sticker on top of my foil covered foam adhesive and fussy cutting. And then you have another great little embellishment. My photo and my papers and my vellum, which is an old piece that I had in my stash, have all been tacked in place with glue dots, permanent smooth layering glue dots. I like to just put them randomly inside the corners to hold them down, leaving a little bit of a gap, so if you want to layer anything, it's easy to tuck things underneath like I did with my title down here. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we have inspired you for some creative fun. Bye.